Lucky Lefty Podcast, Anora Boys. We are in the building and brought to you by Anora Whiskey. It is AnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. And ladies and gentlemen, if you choose to partake of a drink, please make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it. Let it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. I'm Sean Davis, SD2 Mike's that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself. Brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. Subscribe to our YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. Make sure you share and let everybody know that we are the home of the misguided passion and forever committed to making sure that we spin it
different.
That's right. Courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Check out the audio side each and every day. We drop 2 new episodes over there today. We appreciate the growth and the support that you continue to show us. And we are presented by FanDuel. FanDuel.com. And 3 things for sure we know about the Fighting Irish over at FanDuel. CJ Carr is the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman. Yes, sir. Notre Dame, the odds-on favorite to win the national championship in 2026. And there's a game taking place week 1 up in Lambeau Field. The Fighting Irish and Marcus Freeman will invade Lambeau Field to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. And as is seen on FanDuel right now, the Badgers really have no shot because Notre Dame has been installed as a 16.5-point favorite.
16, that's 3 scores.
16 and a half. And I pretty much think the money's going to come in on the Notre Dame side, so I expect that number to increase the closer we get to game time. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. Left, what's good, my brother? Hey, look, prayers out. In all seriousness, Lucky Lefty, LL Nation, we send prayers, God's peace, wisdom, and understanding out to Jaden Ivey and his mother, Niele Ivey, his dad that played for the Fighting Irish, the entire family right now.
How does that work? Because you're in the game. You know what I mean? You do this. So what's your perspective on a guy that's like just taking it all in too fast? Like, you know, because nobody's really like saying that what he's saying is necessarily wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, as a man of the word, it's about discernment and the place and time. And so it's like, I mean, how do you feel about it? Because I'm sure you're like, okay, yeah, it says right there, this and this and this, and this what it say, and I'm not disagreeing, but man, you know, you don't want to mess up your money now. I mean,
I really steer clear of speaking what someone should do with their message or with the message or the gospel. But I will say this. In all thy getting understanding. And understanding is not just the knowledge or revelatory power of scripture, but it's also, I'll give you a great example. I study every day and God will share something with me. And this is something that my father told me years ago, because sometimes when God shares something with you, you think it's for the immediate. And sometimes things will be revealed to you that you have to meditate upon and receive.
Yeah, like you gotta like take a second to break it down yourself first, right?
You have to meditate on it, and then you have to get a release to release it on other people or to other people. And so I think all of us receive information, and in the process of receiving information can become overzealous. I'm not saying that that's what he's done, because like you said, he's operating from what he feels like he is receiving and being directed. And from the outside looking in, I think a brother like him in the association is well needed. And it would be wonderful for his message and the heart that he has to have the platform of the National Basketball Association. Just like Isaac's.
That's what I'm saying. There's guys that do that,
Jonathan Isaac down in Orlando is very profound in the way he shares the message.
For sure.
So
I just don't like, that difference right there. If it wasn't no Jonathan Isaac as a different example, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of people that do it a different way, but still maintain that. Like you said, you gotta know how to disseminate information sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. I think the one thing that stands out is the hot or cold responses. No one is really responding to this objectively. When I look at social media, it's either just totally hot in support or totally cold, right? I'm trying to figure out where's the love, right? Because there's vitriol on the hot side and there's vitriol on the cold side. And I'm just looking for the love that is supposed to be shared abroad, regardless. And that's why we end the show, encouraging everybody to love each other, continue to love each other, because that's what allows us to really overcome, and that's that. And I just wanted to say that to start the show, man. My prayers go out to their entire family, and yeah, let's get to it, because wide receivers and running backs, breakout wide receivers and running backs. We're going to talk about who we, think are going to be breakout wide receivers and running backs in the 2026 season.
That's right. We got a lot of options.
We do. A lot more options in the wide receiver room than we're used to. And all the options in the running back room, or some of them, are not even participating to a certain extent in the spring due to injuries. But we do want to hear from the running backs and the wide receivers. So we're going to do that in part 2 of the show. And then there's a 2027 4-star top 50 wide receiver that will be visiting Notre Dame tomorrow. And his visit is very important, and he has a very keen idea about, what he wants to see and what he on the practice field and what he wants to hear from the Notre Dame coaches. So we'll hear and watch film. Well, we already broke down the film with Miles Boykin, but we'll hear from Left on what he thinks about Quentin Burrell's visit to campus tomorrow. All right, but Left, let's start the show out just talking about who do you have as your breakout running back? And I would say you can't say Nolan James Jr., but it's pretty obvious.
I think it's Anias, just to have more touches in the game, get to make more of a name for himself. It's his job to lose, so I don't think there's as good as Nolan is, I just don't think just the way the structure is that he's just going to jump Aneyas and Aneyas just becomes like Jadarian or something. I do think this is more of a 1A, 1B, and maybe 1C, the true running back by committee. And we were just very fortunate to produce 2 stars during that time, and that's just great recruiting and all that and development. But, we didn't fall far from that tree of good with Jadarian and Jeremiah Love. So guys are going to be in prime shape. And you got to consider the fact that the teams that we're playing aren't necessarily focused on stopping those 2.
Mm-hmm.
So opportunities are going to be there where we talked about there may not be a loaded box early on. I mean, maybe not. Maybe because they give us the respect of, oh, it's Notre Dame. We're not going to be silly. But you're going to see some different looks next season. Because you don't have, I saw the great OKC game yesterday where they talked about the gravity of a player. That's like a new stat. I don't know how they calculate it, but they did the whole graphic of when that player has the ball, just the gravity and attention of the other team that pulls the whole defense away, right? They opens up the lane. So that's what we have with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian. Those two just pulled so much attention. I mean, Boston, we pulled Boston College safeties out of the backfield. We had Boston College safeties playing linebacker. Pre-snap. Meaning if it's 1st and 10, their deepest player was 8 yards. Pre-snap, meaning like we ain't even going to play with you. We ain't even going to act like we're going to come run down. No, we're going to start in the box. I'm over there on TV copy counting up like, damn, they got enough people on defense. Oh, no. They just got a bunch of people in the box. They had 11. So are we going to see those type of looks next year because we have Aneyas and Nolan James? Probably not. Now, that was a defense that was put there after 2 years of respect. It took 2 years for defenses to be like, all right, if we're going to at least have a chance, we got to stop them too. That took 2 years. So I'm going to expect to see a bunch of different looks we haven't prepared for or won't know of because this is such a fresh thing we're doing on offense. Where the things that look so easy, like the Jordan Faison quick screens and the little comebacks and the one-on-one go routes, like maybe they come few and far between. Maybe we got to earn those, So I do think the running game is important to keep in some sort of respect in there, which I think we're very capable of. But once again, it's just about what do we choose to do? Is this the CJ Heisman, we going for 4,000 yards and because we can do that. We can do that. We can force it. We can try, but we can also stay consistent in the run. We can get, if we really wanted to, we can get 2,000 yards running. If we just was like, we just going to use CJ for play action. If we did the Indiana route, say, CJ, we like you a lot, but we're going to do 70-30 with you. We're going to run the hell out of them boys in the backfield and you 30% just like last year. We could do that too and be successful. So what is Marcus Freeman and Denbrock and Sider and Gino Gaduli talking about? Because how many places in college football can you even say that? That's what I think makes it hard. Most places like, okay, we got a star running back, we got a couple of decent guys, and then we're going to revolve the offense around this guy. Notre Dame has the luxury to say, well, shoot, CJ's a dude. We got these receivers that a bunch of potential. Running game is strong. O-line's good. Tight ends is straight. Who's going to be the guy? They all young, It's going to be interesting.
I'm going to go ahead and not on a mass scale, but for situational reasons and the struggles in short yardage, sight unseen, I'm going to go with Kedron Young because I think his ability in goal line and short yardage situations is going to remedy something that even with the great running backs Notre Dame had last year. And partially you can go ahead and credit what I will think and believe to be a better offensive line this year, a much more dominant offensive line. I'm going to go ahead and say Kedron Young is going to have great success.
So that means we're 3-back rotating this year.
Which is crazy, right? Because
Because what's stopping ZAIRE from being like, I mean, these two got to be on the field. Nolan James and Anias just so good. What's stopping him from saying that? Because they could easily, with all the.
Did you have a problem with that? Like, I didn't have a problem with him. You know why I didn't have a problem with him saying it? Because he was up front as soon as he got here. Right? He didn't give us
have a choice.
He didn't give us BS like Chris Ash. He didn't do that. He didn't say one thing, and then once game time took place, we saw something totally different. No, he came here in his first press conference and said Jeremiah has to be on the field.
That's what I'm saying. That's Jeremiah Love too now. It made the job easy.
Saying that is one thing. However, if the best third down back was earned by Anias Williams, once again, I'm saying earned. I don't think it's a true freshman. He's a true freshman. You don't get that job as the third down back unless it's earned. Now, Jeremiah Love vastly improved in pass protection. Vastly improved as a blocker. He really did. He put in the work. However, I think that's really tough, man, to have a kid earn a position and then just because you feel a certain way, you come in and immediately just say, yo, because Jeremiah Love was going to go in the first round regardless of whether or not he was in on.
Regardless.
So, I mean, that part, I'm not going to buy that. It's not like you didn't create. Relax. You didn't create Jadarian and Jeremiah being first round picks.
You didn't give him more.
No.
You didn't give him the ball more for him to get the dope walker. His talent was there.
Absolutely. Jeremiah was a preseason Heisman pick. He was a preseason first round pick. Jadarian was a preseason borderline first round, second round pick. All they did in that last season at Notre Dame was confirm what most people already thought about their talents.
Right.
Period. That's it. So part of me says yes, for what we saw from those two running backs, it had to be that way. Another part of me says, man, that kind of sucks that a kid comes in and competes his butt off as a true freshman to earn his way. And then going into his second year, you basically tell him, yo, you're going to have to take a back seat this year. That's tough, bro.
That's tough. And a back seat for no reason. It's not like it was like you need to get better. It was like you just got to be shelved,
Man, that's tough.
Don't leave either.
Right.
Yeah, don't leave either, but you're going to be all right. But that's where I think Aeneas saw the bigger picture. He wasn't short-sighted in how he saw this thing going and the faith and belief he had and the trust he had in the staff to be like, that don't sound good now, but I'm going to trust that that'll work out later. And this is the later, right? This is where, where it seems to be set up for him. Like I said, it's his opportunity to lose. And, I think the coaching staff's mindset is who in combination with Aeneas can we go with? Not so much of who's going to be the first guy. I think they know it's Aeneas.
And you know what's even crazier? Aeneas was killing Penn State. J1 Sider had to sit there at the Orange Bowl and watch Aeneas on third down.
Cook him.
Cook. It's crazy. He watched Aeneas cook in the Orange Bowl and then immediately got to South Bend and said, yeah, I'm going to have to put you on the show. I mean, no argument.
Because he had to watch the other two dudes cooking too. He saw that Jeremiah Love run and was like, that's just better than Sluggo. But
yeah,
I guess I know where I'm going next year. I think that Penn State game just confirmed where Sider was going next year. He said, that's the room that took over the game. Because it wasn't no random because Coach Freeman already told you. He already chatting and talking with people through the grapevine all the time.
Yeah.
In season, out of season. So him and Sider wasn't the first time they talked after Penn State. So I think that just was like Coach Freeman probably called him after the game and said, hey, we got a seat left on the plane for you. You know, James, we had to send James back to Virginia now. You sent your boy to Virginia, he took a different flight home. We got a flight that's redirecting in South Bend for you, Coach Sider. It's all good. So what you think now? That's what he said. Coach Freeman and Coach Sider probably had a little side wager. He was like, okay. I know you like your two dudes. I like my two dudes.
Mm-hmm.
If my two dudes win, you might as well slide over to Notre Dame. Why not? Coach Sider like, shoot, I made these dudes over here. We're gonna find out. And then after the game, Coach Freeman said, all right, what'd you think? I think we got something a little better.
Yeah.
And I know you saw Anias hit y'all with that sluggo. That's what he finished him off with. I know you saw Anias. He said, you do got 3. And that was history. That's why he said they need to play more. He was like, I saw them two in person. And I didn't think they got the ball enough against us that time. He said, I ain't going to make that mistake again.
That cat Anias Williams almost averaged or did average 9.3 yards per carry last year. Very quietly. Very quietly.
As a third back.
As a third back. 5 touchdowns on the season as a third back. That means he scored 1 out of every 5 touches as a running back.
Eli Raridon started every game, played every snap.
How did I know? How did I know you were going to go that direction?
That's right. Because Anias is ready.
Yeah, with all of that being said, they only return out of the running back room. They only return 257 yards rushing.
It's not great.
No, it's not great at all. It's not great at all.
That's not a bad thing either. Like, you can change that quick. Now, if we had 257 receiving yards coming back, which is probably not even far from that now.
No, Jordan Faison himself last year had 640 yards. So he puts them over the top. He puts them in it, after that. Actually, the leading returning receiver after Jordan Faison actually transferred.
KK
Smith. He was the second leader in receiving yards to return. He had 123. Micah Gilbert was at 93. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, Jaden Greathouse, 73.
Jesus.
Yeah, heck, the former walk-on Matt Jeffrey, he's at 37. Yeah. Yeah, so you ask the question all the time. I wonder what they said to the 2 transfers.
Oh, nothing. They probably just showed them the stat sheet. They just like, look, let's look at the numbers. Jordan Faison shoot. It's an easy sell.
Man. Lucky Lefty podcast. So that's our breakout running backs. So let's hear from the running backs, Left. Before we get to that, I think our boy G-Baby said Kedron Young is definitely her breakout at running back. And then D-Mont, Mr. Food Lover, says Anias Williams is my pick right now because the other 2 are unproven.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's absolutely unfair. So let's go ahead and hear from the youngster that is causing a stir and a buzz from spring practices, Nolan James Jr., who looks the part, as Jawan Sider said. Jawan Sider said he's built the way you want a running back to be built. And he said he's ready to compete and ready to put in the work this spring. Check it out, Blev.
Going into the season, I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew who was ahead of me. But working myself into getting some respect out of the coaches to give me those few reps definitely helped getting my feet wet, just getting a feel for what college football was all about.
And then you guys obviously all want to play, so it's a competitive group. Like, how do you maintain a healthy relationship with
all the guys in the room? Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of that comes from outside of the facility and outside of football, just hanging out, like just building those relationships. Me and Anias are super close, and we live in the same building. Like we hang out every weekend. Like it's just a healthy competition. Like we know we both have to work and we're both going to compete, but at the end of the day, like it's all love.
Now, what kind of nationality is him? I man, look like
That's a weird question, Left. What?
I didn't. I mean, I'm looking at him like I was trying to figure out what I was looking at. Like, what's his hair under there? What's the hair?
Left out. He looked like he had on a do rag. I would think he has some type of curly waves.
But is it our curly waves or is it like curly waves? That's an interesting look.
That the question was about as weird as the sentence structure.
I mean, no, I was trying to put it. I guess it's because I've never seen him. I've never seen his face before.
He really threw you off. Like seeing him on screen really threw you off.
I did not know what I was looking at. I saw the dude. I was like, "What am I?"
Oh man!
Because Anias got a different look too. I call him Red Beard. He really got a red beard. Jadarian and Jeremiah Love was easy, just to put it in perspective. That was an easy, okay, but these brothers we got in the running back room, they just, I don't know what. Anyway, I think I think Nolan James gonna be in the right spot, man. Like you said, the opportunity is there. It just exists. I just don't see how. For the running back position right now, it's just so wide open, and it's such in a good position because it's like you're not. We talked about it earlier. You're not so much expected to win the game, but you're excited to see these guys get the football. It's like, man, it's just like you get a new part to a car where the car is great, but you ain't even tested spoilers yet. You ain't even tested nitro or the butterfly doors. We just got all these different attachments that we're excited to use, and shoot, we don't know what it's going to produce, but we know we put the work in for these guys to show out. And then with CJ taking on the load he's taking on, you would expect these guys to be ingratiated a lot easier. You know what I mean? Instead of it being like, dang, if I don't get 5 yards of carry, it's going to be a rough season. Well, CJ going to be taking on most of that anyway. And I think that's where the running backs fill in, get their footing, and then it can be a true balance instead of it be led by the running back and then the quarterback follow it up. So maybe it's the natural order we're getting right, and that'll be great for them to find their way. Because like you said, I don't think Coach Sider is pressed to find the next Jeremiah Love. That type of performance from the both of them can last a couple years where it's like, we just want guys to be productive. Like I can't even ask you to do what Jeremiah Love and Jadarian did, So we just have a high expectation in the running back room. That's like saying with Q. When Q left Notre Dame, it's like, are we going to really get another Q? Probably not. You know what I mean? We're not going to get another Q. But I like the guys we got coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, we know you're not going to be Q, but dang it, you need to be close to it or up there in that sphere. So I think that's what also sets a good precedent for recruiting and just consistent O-line players, because football guys, just like most people, are visual learners.
Mm-hmm.
I like Q coming back during spring practice. You're like, dang, this is a true example of what this block looks like. Yeah, we watch film and all that, but he actually came to show us how to do it in real life. Speed, technique, and then he's talking to me, telling me how to do it. This is a Hall of Famer. They said he's played the most games since whatever has been drafted. Like it's cute. The greatest example that you can have. I mean, what are we talking about? Like when you got that's a cheat code. That's like Reggie Bush coming back, or I think Notre Dame. That's like Reggie Brooks out there. Here we go. They got Reggie Bush. We got Reggie Brooks. Here we go. Reggie Brooks coming back and being like, hey, this is what you gotta, whoop-de-whoop. Running through the hole or something. Like that's what you need.
That man said, what is him?
That was a crazy look.
Oh man.
They gotta put out them programs a lot more, man. Showing what these guys look like before they get up speaking at the. I mean, I knew they threw people off.
Nolan James Jr., the hybrid, as coined by Les.
That's his name right there. He got red beard and the hybrid in the running back room.
Talked about being excited to get the reps to be able to get better. Check it out, Lev.
Definitely. I think on the field, I think it's mentally for me. Last year, I kind of got thrown into the spring, and it was hard for me just to gain a grasp of everything that entails with college football. This year, I very much know what's going on. I can see things much clearer. The game has slowed down tenfold for me. I think that's been the biggest thing for me. And then off the field, I've taken a lot of pride, and I've taken my recovery and nutrition super serious this year. Last year, not that I didn't have a routine, but, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. So just going into the season and even camp, I kind of was just, trying to figure it out, and now I have everything very situated.
How much does this spring camp now help you because of how much of an opportunity you're getting with, guys being limited in and out?
Yeah, definitely. I think just the reps has just been what's so important. I didn't get a lot of reps last spring. I got a decent amount of reps last camp because some guys were banged up, but just the sheer reps has just been great for me. Just seeing stuff, just the game has slowed down. Everything's just coming to me a lot more naturally now.
Lev, you talked about that. When you're a freshman or you're at the bottom of the board in the running back room or any other room, you say you only get that 1 or 2 reps.
Yeah, you only get one. You only get, and that's just the rep to move to practice along. You in transition, guys walking on off the field. It's like a half serious. It's so funny because it don't even give you no. It's like, here, get in because we forgot about you type of play. But you still got to take it serious. Get the most out of it. And all that. But sheesh. My last question. My last question of Nolan. Where geographically is he from? Maybe that's what it is.
He's from the north. He's from the northeast.
I've never been over there. That's what it is.
See, we're about to have northeast hate again. You hated on the entire state, entire state of Massachusetts yesterday.
It makes sense. I have never been.
He's a Jersey kid. Him, Elijah Burris, Jackson Vaughn, Phoenix Evans, Aiden O'Neal, all of those kids that are currently on the team, a 27, 28 recruit, they all come from the Northeast in the Jersey area, bro. Show some love. Show some love.
I've been there. That's
what I mean? Home of Tony Sopranos. Show some love to New Jersey.
See, I've seen a Tony Soprano before. I've never seen that before. I mean, he just different brothers. The brother got green eyes or something.
You do know there are brothers in New Jersey.
Yes, right? Absolutely. But I mean, he had the do-rag with and he's super fair skinned. Because Aneyas got the red beard, but he got the hair. The top of the hair makes sense. I see that. I see the genetics with that. The genetics with him just one of them. Like the movies where they be putting them perfect aliens and where they just be, you don't know what they came from. They just the perfect alien shape. I gotta go to that northeast side.
So all you ever saw was him under the helmet.
For the
first time he came from under the helmet. And you were I didn't expect.
Even the pictures on Twitter, they had him with, I was like, man, he's huge. But he always had the helmet on.
And he has the black visor.
See?
He's a visor kid.
So this is like a deal. The Masked Singer?
Okay.
He's the last singer. I just never. It's like, wow, you would have fooled me.
So the reveal took you back.
Yeah, the reveal.
Oh man, LL man, this show is absolutely amazing. I love being with you guys every day, and this dude right here because you never know. We just had ice cream. You know you're gonna get it every show. The ice cream truck is coming for you every show. Make sure you get your order in. Every time you hear the ice cream truck, put your order in the chat. Let us know what you want from the ice cream truck every time you hear it. Right? That's the brand. Every day. Now we know how to brand the ice cream truck, making its appearance on the show every day. Put your order in the chat. Put your order in the chat. Let us know what you want. We got you. We got you. You want that bomb pop? You want the push-up? You want the dreamsicle? You want the ice cream sandwich? Whatever you need. Even if you want the generic snow cone.
He got the menu too, for sure.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Oh man. Who? We know he's excited for the opportunity, Nolan James Jr. But what vets impacted him the most? This is what he had to say, Left.
Wait, I mean, all you can ask for is an opportunity. I put the work in on and off the field before and after lifts and off hours. So just the opportunity is all I asked for, and I'm excited to just go take advantage of that opportunity. Yeah, definitely. I think JD played a lot of the off the field factors for me. He really showed me what to do and take care of my body. And I took that super serious and I implemented it to my daily routine, and that's been super helpful. And then J Love on the field just helped me read things. He helped me see a lot of the game. Even when I necessarily wasn't getting reps, he helped me see it when I was on the sideline. Every game, if he wasn't, I was sitting next to him trying to play the game through his eyes and just see what was happening off the field, even if I wasn't getting those reps.
Hey, boy, if you have J Love's eyes, you're working with something.
Now, I mean, he's J Love passed, you can tell this kid's going to be successful. I mean, like Coach Snyder said, he does all the right things. He's born to be a running back. He knows all the things to say. He knows how to follow the path. And, you know, he could tell he's eager to be out there, man. I mean, he's giving you every detail on how he's ready. I asked him a basic question. He's like, no, this is exactly what I did from the time I woke up to when I went to sleep, and exactly how that's a guy he wants to see the results of the process, that he's excited that is finally showing for him. You know, the coaches finally gave him the green light. You know, they was like, okay, this is your time. And I think, along with his dad and everything that's super involved, and he's got a great positioning that I would say for him to have success. And I mean, it's the spoil of riches for where we are as a program and in the running back room. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him have a pop out year. It wouldn't be a surprising thing where I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that. No, I'm actually expecting him to do really well. It's just this season in particular, it's just going to come down to moments, because it can get washed over from us just being better than a lot of teams, So who is going to pop out when we need it the most? And maybe it's few and far between, but it's important.
Yeah, some ice cream orders came in. Our boy Gino said, ice cream man, Butterfinger bar, please.
That's right. That's right.
Jay Grizz said, "Give me the snow cone."
That's the thing too. It's like in the Midwest, we didn't have the ice cream truck all the time, or they got the corn man. You ever heard of that guy? You got the dude to be serving the corn and stuff. So they be having them fruit people on the corner. Y'all got that in Chicago?
Nah, not in the city. Maybe. Well, you know what? Yes, if you go into the Latino areas in Chicago, they do have vendors.
Yeah, these some dedicated vendors now. I mean, they out here rain, snow, sleet, shine,
ladies and gentlemen, my wife just called me again during the show. I have no clue. No clue.
Say, hey, you doing the show?
Left, go ahead and continue to talk. Let me take this call. Just she's driving back from the north side. So
That's right.
I want to make sure she's okay.
That's right. But anyway, yeah, guys. So get your ice cream orders in, man. I have no idea, man. I think it's because he knows that I have kids, so he likes to drive really slow when he comes by, you know, in hopes that he can get his routine customers somehow to keep coming back. So yeah, man, that's part of the show now. It's great. One day we probably got to get the ice cream man on the show. Get the ice cream man on the show and just really tell him, you know, how clearly he's a hustler. Because he's here every day, we're here, and we're here every day. So this man work hard for his $11.
Yeah, bro. It is amazing. It is amazing when you talk about his not his resurgence, but his buzz that he's creating. It really started last year. I said it before the season, you know, just hearing Jaywan Sider say, yo, this kid, everything we give him, he picks it up and just does it with ease, you know. And like when they went through a drill and he made a mistake finally, he, you know, just the fact that he was like, yo, we finally found something you can't do. I thought that was pretty amazing. I really did. I thought it was pretty amazing. Yeah, let's go to Anias. Go ahead. I want to get to Anias Williams, but go ahead.
Yeah, we want Anias.
All right, let's get to Anias Williams. They were asking him whether or not he thought about shutting things down, going through these injuries with his elbow. Did he ever think about shutting things down last year, even this spring? Anias Williams is like, what? Check it out.
Shutting it down? Never. Yeah, no, obviously a little bit of ups and downs. When I found out that I needed surgery, it was a low place, but then I kind of spoke with the trainers and like really got the timeline of it and realized it really wouldn't slow me down much. I think I found out like week 3 as soon as we came back from Christmas break. So yeah, that was rough, but once we got the timeline and once I got the surgery over with, it's moved really well. Obviously, I'm way ahead of where I thought I was going to be, and I'm being able to do everything. So I'm in a good spot right now.
And then something was happening with the leg, but you've gone from like the young guy in the room to the old guy in the room. What's that kind of been like for you?
It's been fun, and I've fully embraced it. As far as leading in the room, like, yeah, it happened quick, but I feel like that's always kind of been my role in the room. I've always been, you know, a leader. I speak up a lot, but now just really just amplified it even more with these young guys, and even now we took on some rugby and walk-on guys, so helping them as well.
Man, these brothers in these do-rags. So this guy. So what's the swag in the running back room now? So this is a trend. We got the hybrid brothers. We got Redbeard and the hybrid do-rag.
You're hating now because you're growing your hair out?
I've never seen this, SD. This brother Anias got blue eyes with the do-rag and the red beard. Then we got the hybrid smooth face, baby green eyes. I've never seen that fair skin. You know, it's crazy. And these brothers is good at football. I mean, this is just a total opposite. I mean, maybe it's because we went from one thing to the other. It's too extreme.
So we went from the Chocolate Brothers, first round Chocolate Brothers.
I don't know, brothers. Like I've never seen these brothers. Like these is. I mean, that's crazy. So you gotta give people time. I mean, my goodness. I mean,
it's been alternate. I mean, it's been alternating.
It's changing hard quick.
You go to Kyron.
Kyron, I get it. The curly hair, but he had
from Kyron
yep.
to Aldrick, who's a Chocolate Brother.
Okay, Aldrick,
right?
we went overseas for that one.
Right.
Okay,
then you go from Aldrick, you kind of continue to J Love and Jadarian, and now the pendulum swings back a little bit.
It's on east. It's on east. I mean, it's on super east. Like Man, they definitely something to watch for. I mean, that's different. Okay, but I'm really excited, especially for the fact that, like, one, I don't know how much of an elbow affects a running back. Like, what an interesting thing that can take you out. Because I'm like, I've seen the pictures of the giant machine thing he has on his elbow, but I'm like, man, is the elbow that serious for a runner? I mean, I don't know, but I don't think it's going to slow him down at all because his legs work fine. He can catch the ball pretty well, so maybe it's something there, but I wouldn't press the gas on anything until, the stuff starts counting. When we turn the scoreboard on, okay, I need you to be full form. And it's the same thing what we talked about with the whole not being healthy thing. For running backs, it's about health. You can watch the guy ahead of you and all that, but even pass blocking, you need to know what to do, but you got to be ready to step in there. You know what I mean? Because you can know a lot, but if you ain't ready to step in there, it's a whole different game. So health is important, and it's good to see, these guys understand that, so it's not you don't get the sense of it's a me thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, shoot, I know I'm gonna get my carries and I'm gonna do the best with them, So I think that's a good atmosphere to work in, and it's competitive. Because, like you said, we only got 200 yards in the room, so I'm sure each of those guys is like, I love all y'all boys, but I kind of want to outpace y'all in yards. I mean, it's not like it's the respect that, you walk in the room with Jeremiah Love and Darian, you like, all right, them boys got it. This is kind of like, shoot, who gonna get the highest? I mean, there's no, who gonna really show out? I mean, that's what I would think. But it's a good opportunity for these running backs.
Yo, did you see this? Did you see the news about your Jaguars left?
Must have missed it.
They're moving from Jacksonville to Orlando, bro.
I get it. But
the Orlando Jaguars.
Orlando got a lot of stuff going on, so that makes sense.
Is that still in Duval County?
No.
It's not? Man,
Orlando's like a whole different state of Florida.
It really is.
It's like Miami's a different state of Florida. Jacksonville's a different state. Orlando's a different state.
Yeah, you're right. Our boy Jay Greer said, I bet the running back room is filled with nothing but track hawks and Hellcats in the parking lot outside the Loftus.
Yeah, oh man, it's these brothers here, man. What an interesting thing.
Hey, Kedron, you got to hold it down for the Chocolate Brothers in there, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you deal with some androgynous dudes. Or the unambiguous, what they say, just, I don't know what to call it.
Boy, you are on a roll today.
Yes, man.
Anias talked about his relationship with Coach Sider. As we pointed out, it had to be a little contentious, man. Like, yo, previous coach, I worked my tail off. I'm the third down back. I earned that. I put in front of you at the Orange Bowl. And now you're telling me I have to take a step back? Granted, these two dudes are cold. But, man, Anias Williams talked about the relationship with Coach Sider.
It's developed a lot really quickly. He's a vocal leader as well. He likes guys that are going to speak up and speak. So, I kind of always been tight in that way with him. And then now just more and more play, more and more like film, just being able to relate and, just make sure we're seeing things the same way. I'd say that's the biggest thing.
You're pretty candid, I think it was last November, about how frustrating the season was last year for you and, thinking about maybe leaving. But now that you've stayed, what are the benefits of your decision to stay here now, and how happy are you with that?
Yeah, I think it's a full circle thing that you don't realize how good you got it until you don't have it. So with the injury, just not being able to play for a little bit, and then to now just, reflecting back on the ups and downs and how much more gratitude I have for this opportunity now. Yeah, I mean, it's been everything that I've imagined. I knew this opportunity would come eventually. It just seemed like it was really far away 6 months ago, but, here we are now, and, I can't think of a better opportunity.
You got that right.
I can appreciate that all these guys look big. You know what I mean? Nolan looks huge. Aneyas
Putting
looks
in
huge.
that work. Yeah.
Kedron Young is huge. He came in big. So, we not – no, I think we got that perfect mix of – we don't got the skinny backs anymore like the ZAIREs and the George Atkinsons where they skinny, tall, fast dudes. Now they look like running backs, just solid guys all the way around. They look versatile. That's what it is. They look like versatile backs. They don't look one way type of like, oh, he looked like he just run through the whole full speed.
Right.
These guys is built like he look like he get out in space. He like he can do something in the route tree or something. So I guess that's the evolution of the running back recruit.
Yeah. Oh man. I really believe that Aneyas is going to be a top 5 running back in the country. I really do.
I mean, everything is about opportunity with this team.
His skill set is just really good, bro. He's just a versatile running back. He can do so many things. They can use him in so many different ways.
He could easily be a first, second option on many teams.
Yeah, yeah.
But what is Aneyas on this team? He doesn't have to be a first option. He can be. It's no different than one of these transfer receivers being a first option.
Mm-hmm.
So it's strictly about it. We just got to wait and see what's the opportunity, how they going to pass the ball around.
Yeah.
He could be great and not touch it much. We saw that from Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love easily could have outshined Ashton Jeanty that year if we just was like, he's our everything. Easily. If we were like Jadarian, we're going to sit you and just go Jeremiah Love to the max, we wouldn't know about Ashton Jeanty.
That's fair.
Seriously. Jeremiah Love literally had similar, close enough numbers to have a conversation with Ashton Jeanty, splitting carries.
Yeah. That's fair. Anias Williams knows the opportunity that's right there in front of him. And he was asked about whether or not he was fired up for the opportunity. Check it out, Left. This is what he had to say.
I mean, I'm extremely fired up, really just ready, trying to embrace the spring and then, camp and then season. So really just trying not to look too far ahead because we got work to do. We got big shoes to fill, but they will be filled.
Anias, a year from today, when you look back at your 2026 season, what do you hope you accomplish? What is on your vision?
I want to be the best running back for this room I can be. I want to be a leader. I want to be someone that guys can look up to, and I want to leave my mark on Notre Dame for sure, however that looks.
I think it looks pretty bright.
Only thing I would say is let's not try to fill the shoes of what came to pass. These guys got to, these guys got to find their own story. And I think that's a better path than trying to follow the path that they set before them. Absolutely. I just think that's like, you reaching for something that's like, if you could get close to that, that's great, but it would be better for, the androgynous twins to kind of figure out their next step on their own. I think it'd be more beautiful of a story.
Right.
The light-skinned brothers taking over. We got to find like a nickname, like Nick and Knack or something like that. I think they look good as a combo. You throw Kedron in there. You throw one of these freshmen somewhere in the mix, right? You got something that you can keep for about 3-4 years. So I think the running back room is accounted for. I don't think we need to worry about, the lack of production possibly from that room. These guys are fired up. They're in the right shape. They've shown flashes that they can be really productive. I just hope Denbrock sees it. enough to where we can get the most out of it to help CJ. Because this, I think, is still a CJ season.
Mm-hmm.
All the help he can get, the better. And if he can take off some of that pressure and just have us run the ball for 4 minutes, get us out of game, perfect.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. One more time, Anias Williams on the way out before we get to Kedron Young. He talked about thinking about and having the opportunity to possibly transfer from Notre Dame, but he chose to stay. He gave his thoughts.
You know, with the great freshman year and the way the portal works, anybody can get anybody. That was, exciting times, but it didn't feel right. I came here for a reason. This degree means something to me, but also these people mean something more to me. And I'd say that's the biggest takeaway that, I can fully speak on is, getting these relationships with these transfers. The first thing they speak on, I remember a conversation with Francis is he was like, why are you guys hanging out here? Why are you guys always together? And it just really embodies Notre Dame and who we are and just the team culture. And, that was my biggest fear when I did think about entering was what's it going to be like team-wise. And I couldn't give this up at all.
Grass is not always greener on the other side, man. The NIL money can be very appealing.
Sometimes just like where you at.
Yeah.
And they throw money around. It's like, shoot, man. I mean, you take such a risk these days with this transfer stuff. You gotta have so much of a team behind you when you're doing this, and it's a lot of uncertainty. And as a guy that's in a position where you this is my prime year. Mm-hmm. I'm supposed to get off this year. I'm gonna just stick around because at least I got a relationship, because that's what it's about, and it's gonna come down to is the relationships guys have in just the college football network. Who what coaches leave, what players go where, and when you find a spot, it's more attractive to find a fit than it is to chase the next big opportunity. And I think Aeneas sees it, is comfortable. I mean, come on, he knows they're going to win games. So you got to check. Well, I know we're going to win games.
Mm-hmm.
2, I know I'm going to be in the spotlight if I do my job. 3, I know I'm going to get the ball. 4, I'm getting a little bit of money. I'm going to get some more by starting. 5, we got a quarterback. 6, we got, easy. I mean, you go down the checklist of why I should stay. And then why I should leave, get more money. Shoot, what's a better O-line? I mean, shoot, you talk about your specific running back traits. I got a great O-line and I'm starting. What I'm leaving for? And I got Marcus Freeman. Oh, he's straight. And we FanDueled up. I ain't leaving this. And that's smart, but also obvious. Who's leaving that?
Man, like you said, man, when you put in, that's one of the great things about what these coaches, whether it's on the road during contact period or what, visits, official, unofficial, like I'm saying, your salesman is only as good as the product, bro. And as much hate and vitriol as Notre Dame receives, the truth of the matter is everybody knows the totality of the product is A+. Everybody knows that. Other fan bases know that. That's why you get the jealousy. That's why you get the anger. That's why you get the vitriol. Whether it's on social media, whether it's not on whether it's on networks like ESPN, you get all of that because people recognize, man, they really got it all. They got the money because they're good stewards. They got the bag and NIL. They choose not to even spend it all, which goes to their stewardship. They got their own network. They've had their own network. They set their own schedule. They play all type of big-time games, national games every week. They're on TV, featured every week. Now they have the swaggiest head coach in college football. They're setting the trend with the coaching staff. They're starting to set the trend with recruiting. It is what it is. Why would you want to leave? Why? This year, I think people leaving this year, Josh Burnham. right? Josh Burnham feels like he's a starter. Pat Coogan felt like he was a starter. So they had to leave. And you tip your cap, because I think both were starters or are starters. And I hope Josh Burnham has an incredible season for the Indiana Hoosiers. Great defensive system, great defensive line coach. I think he's going to fit in quite well. But that's why you saw people, Creed Thomas, he looked at the group coming in 26 at the defensive back room. He looked at what was still there. And Creed Thomas was like, let me go to Colorado. I can start immediately. Because the opportunity and Notre Dame fans have to be a little bit more empathetic to how things have changed. This is no longer a roster like it was 10, 12 years ago, where the expectation was the best freshman was going to come in and start, or he has to start. We need him to be good in order to win. That's no longer the case. The roster is really good from top to bottom. And because it's good, you're going to see in this era a lot more Notre Dame underclassmen jump into the portal for opportunity. Just for opportunity. But a guy like Anias Williams, when he weighed the pros and cons of leaving the program, it's just he couldn't do it. Kedron Young talked about his recovery. This is what he had to say.
Is there a light at the end of the tunnel at this point?
It's been pretty good. I've learned to embrace it. I'm at 7 months now. Started running last week. So I feel pretty good at the position I'm at, just progressing, taking it slow.
How much easier is it to learn the offense or incorporate the offense now that Coach Denbrock's been here for 3 years?
It's pretty easy now. You got freshmen coming in, so, it's crucial that we teach them the playbook and make sure they learn it the right way. So being an older guy now is kind of crazy to say, but, learning, helping the freshmen out with the playbook and everything, that's like the biggest thing I'm trying to learn right now.
J1 Sider talked about him being all in, being in the reps during practice, even if he's not participating. But like you said, Left, well taken what you spoke yesterday. At running back, you can talk about mental reps, but as Nolan James said, getting the reps is the most important thing. And that's what's helped him get better. And so Kedron Young,
it's gonna get you better.
I look forward to seeing him in the fall, in summer camp.
Yeah, you just hope he gets fall somewhere in the rotation. He can find his reps, man. And, nobody is doubting the ability of any of our backs. So that's a good thing. It's just more about who's the right fit at the right situation in the game to make it happen. And honestly, it's just pick and choose who you want, how you want it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want it sauteed, you want it fried, you want it baked. It's gonna come out delicious.
He also talked about the steps he's been taking to get better, not only physically, but just with his game without being able to practice. This is what he had to say.
Embrace the process. It hasn't been easy, having a torn ACL and not being out there, but I've had a positive mindset through the whole way, and I'm excited to get back out on the field. So.
Obviously, there's so much opportunity here in a crowded running back. How are you trying to separate yourself?
I would say, learn from my teammates. I think that's the biggest thing, and then try to incorporate that, on the field. And then also just improve on, my weaknesses and everything. Like, I feel like last spring I improved on blocking. So, next time I get out, it might be pass catching or it might be, some other skill. So just improving on my weaknesses and everything.
Man, that boy could replace Melvin in the Temptations. Boy, that's a good baritone right there, boy.
And it's funny, too, because, these guys are so funny. They like, man,
that's a good baritone, boy.
I'm
You put
not
him
working.
right in the first row in the middle of the church choir. That him right there, boy.
He gonna be right there.
Yes, sir.
And these guys, they honest. They, he didn't say he need to work on anything running the ball. He didn't say I need to run the holes better. He said, maybe catching, I got better at blocking, man. Other than that, I'm ready to play. So I do think that, like you said, these guys are eager, man. It's just a matter of time. Somebody's gonna figure out the rotation at some point.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if their biggest battles is trying to find a way to stay healthy, they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Lucky
Yeah.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. I am Sean Davis, SD2 Mike's that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. Brought to you by Anora Whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, AnoraWhiskey.com. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day. We drop 2 new episodes this day. You need to check those out and much more, courtesy of Bleav Network. And whether you know it or not, we are presented by FanDuel. We know 3 things are etched in stone about Notre Dame football in 2026 over at FanDuel. Number 1, 16.5-point favorites week 1 against the Wisconsin Badgers. Starting quarterback CJ Carr. It's a betting favorite to win the Heisman. And we top that off with the Fighting Irish being the odds-on favorite to win the national championship with a win total of 11.5. So if you're going to take the over, that means, hey, the Fighting Irish have to go undefeated in 2026. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel. FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. We have a super chat. Appreciate the super chat, my guy, Noob Life. Could you see Kenny Minchey transfer back to Notre Dame after playing at Kentucky next year? I don't believe so. I think the ability for Will Stein to develop quarterbacks that go on to the NFL, and I don't know if you guys have been seeing the Kentucky social media. Kenny has been throwing some dimes.
Been looking good, Kenny.
And look at that spiral is looking real nice.
Remember, they said Kenny and CJ was neck and neck. They couldn't tell the difference.
That might have been a little bit of propaganda, but hey, you know. They looking back on it, they did a great job of selling the competition.
Yeah, they sold it.
Right.
So I'm just going off of what they sold.
You said it before the competition. You were like, CJ's the guy. They've been setting this up from the first time he got to campus.
Oh yeah, it was set up for sure.
CJ's the guy, but they did a great job. It really got things rolling and the conversation going all spring and all summer. It really did, all the way up until they announced that CJ Carr was the starter. So they got what they wanted.
Best mind games in the country.
Well, you know, it generated revenue. I can't be mad at it. It generated a lot of revenue. So, hey, that's Notre Dame, the good stewards that they are.
The good stewards they are.
The good stewards that they are. Another frustration or another frustrated player like Anias Williams in the running back room would definitely be Jaden Greathouse, his classmate. Well, not his classmate, because it's a different class. But Jaden Greathouse in the wide receiver room. And he talked about that frustration. Check it out, Lef.
Definitely been frustrating. It's been a roller coaster of emotions just for me and, everything that, we wanted to accomplish last season and all those things. But, I'm grateful for it. Being able to, learn from these opportunities, having a different, trajectory in my career with the injury and things like that. But just taking it one step at a time and getting back to fully healthy, making sure that I'm doing everything that I can as a leader and as a teammate, even if I'm not playing and doing things like that. So it's definitely been a learning experience for me, but super grateful for it and just ready to get back.
And then just how beneficial is it to be in year 3 of the same offense?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely been a lot different, even from, last year and being in the second year of our offense. It's just a lot more building off of what we already have established. A lot of things even last spring, we were still having to teach and kind of recover and tweak and fix. But this year, I feel like we just hit the ground running with all of our all of our concepts and everything that we going on, and then just teaching the young guys to get adjusted and understand what our standard is and how to play fast and all those things. So we really just hit the ground running, and it's been a lot of fun.
Just want that hamstring to be healthy, young bull.
Yeah, it's tough in sports world. We don't really want to hear from you until you get healthy, man. Just get right. You know, I believe all the things you're saying, man. We just want to see you out there.
Yeah, I just want to see him healthy, man, because especially if he can get back to what we saw in that playoff run in 24. Man, that would be absolutely fantastic and would change the game. If you get him and Mylan Graham dominating on the inside, whew, CJ Carr is going to throw for a lot of yards, my brother. He's going to throw for a lot of yards. But 15 guys in this crowded wide receiver room. Like, how are you going to make room for yourself? Great house. This is what he had to say.
For everybody else got their own different personalities and like to be coached a different way. And so the biggest thing is just getting to know the guys first, making sure that our room is super tight, making sure that we're always communicating with each other and got good chemistry. And so it's a lot of fun just being able to be one of the older guys and figure out how some of the younger guys like to be coached and help them grow, help them succeed, and see the development that they made in such a short time from when they first got here to now. There's been a lot of growth, so it's been a lot of fun.
Were you close to leaving at the end of last season?
I wouldn't say close is the right word. I feel like, one of the big goals for me is, leaving here with a degree, making sure that I get my degree from this university. And, the main thing that was on my mind was, just getting healthy and getting back on the field, just being able to want to have an opportunity to show what I can do. And so just completely focused with my rehab. Obviously, we made the decision to redshirt and hopefully get me back for the playoffs. But, Notre Dame's been my home the whole time, and I want to make sure that I get my degree here and finish what I started here. And so we're just ready to get back on the field.
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Hey, man, I'm pulling for this kid, man. Pulling for this kid to get healthy, have his hamstring hold up, and see him back on the field. Cam Williams, what's different for you this year, Cam? This is what he had to say.
I just think confidence and kind of the work that I've put in, over these course of the years, just sticking true to, who I want to be and what I want to achieve, and, just believing in it.
And then you've been done that with spring ball. I guess what's just your mindset entering your spring ball?
It's kind of, go out there, have fun. Like I was, thinking about this kind of the other day. It's like, it's my third spring. I kind of know how this rolls. I know how it goes. I know the flow of all this. And, knowing that you're able to play faster and play smoother. So I think that's just kind of been my mindset.
Left, you are right. These dudes are looking. Hey, Lauren Lando is doing his job.
Oh, they look. You got to. It's just the elevation of what it takes to get D1. These guys come in 218. Like, dang, I was 185 coming into school. So, but that's the thing with a guy like Cam Williams. It's just like, man, I don't know what to say. What do you say with a guy like Cam Williams? Is the window closing? I don't know.
I think with Porter out until the fall and the opportunity, it was always interesting because people will say, you hear multiple people say he's the most talented and physically gifted wide receiver on the roster. Then why are you moving him to the boundary? Shouldn't he be at the field? So hearing that, I question the move from field to boundary initially, then to hear, because it made me question, like, man, is he not as fast or as athletic as I thought coming out of high school? And then to hear staff reiterate that, his talent, he's the most talented, physically gifted wide receiver that we have. And it's like, okay, why was the move to boundary necessary then? But, and did that move kind of push back his development or slow down his development?
Yeah.
It's just things to think about, right?
Something to think about for sure.
Yeah. But he talked about, this is a big room. He talked about the size of the room, the talent in the room, and competing. Check it out.
I think, competition's obviously that's good. You want dudes who want to be in here and compete and who want to fight for that spot. And I think, we all know that's kind of what it is. And at the end of the day, just have to compete and, not letting that get in the way of, anything else because, what's on the field is on the field. What happens elsewhere happens elsewhere. So.
Where do you see yourself on this team?
I see myself as, someone find his role, someone who's going to, make his role. And, this has kind of been my mindset.
See how he called that? He said, find his role. Then he said, no, I'm going to make my role.
Yeah, you got to, shoot. It's tough. It's tough sledding.
It's now or never. It's now or never. It's now or never.
Ain't much in this case.
Yeah, Ohio State wide receiver transfer, MALIK Graham. He talked about his time and catching up with the playbook and what's it been like early in the spring.
I feel like I got a good hang of things, especially throughout winter. Just having individual meetings with Coach Brown and CJ and everybody else in the receivers. I feel like I got a good grasp of things so far.
And then with CJ, where's that chemistry at right now with you guys?
It's building every day. We're just focused on building it even better. Whether it's signals, whether it's timing, whether it's route depth, we're just working on building that chemistry every day.
What's the toughest thing about adapting to Notre Dame, just on and off the field?
Nothing too much. It's pretty similar. I've been transitioning and adapting pretty smooth, so I'll just say it's pretty similar and nothing's too different.
What's your expectations for this upcoming year? What do you think you're capable of achieving on the field?
Just doing whatever the team needs me to do to help win and get a national title. Just being a professional every day and out the building and helping out the receiver room and the offense as a whole.
Okay, being a professional.
He had to learn. He had to clean it up. He's like, nothing's different. Yeah.
Somebody talked to him, right? Somebody spoke to him.
Yeah, like trucks done pulled up to the house. Hey man, you need to correct some of that stuff.
Stop snitching on the Ohio State program. Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, he was like, nope. Similar, nothing different. Very similar. Everything's a smooth transition. I don't see no difference.
Coach Freeman was like, all right, man, that's still my alma mater. That's still my alma mater.
Yeah, he's a stepping stone. Look, we supposed to get each
other. Right.
But no, I think he understands. I mean, shoot. I liked how he said he was with CJ. He's like, I'm not with the receiver room. I'm with the quarterback.
That's right.
I'm receiver one. I think he's receiver one going in, but it's just you gotta see the development. And hopefully CJ finds his guy.
Okay. GTB question from my guy Deuce Andretti. Do you think there is a chance Kenny has better numbers than CJ by the end of the year in a Will Stein offense?
Maybe.
He's going to get the opportunity.
Yeah.
They run the ball too, though. Will Stein will run the ball because Oregon still ran the ball.
Yeah.
But they will spread the ball around and throw it all over the field as well. So he'll have the opportunity, especially if they trust him. Kenny Minchie's probably the best quarterback talent-wise they've had to come to Kentucky in the last decade. I really have to think about it. 5 years for sure. Maybe even the last decade. Yeah, the more I think about it, yeah. Jordan Faison. He left lacrosse to become a full-time football player. He misses it, but he's happy he made the decision.
Yeah, it was definitely a hard decision walking away, from my brothers in the sport I love. But one of the main decisions was probably my body. I had to heal my body up. The body only lasts so long. You need to take care of it. And obviously, also wanted to go to the next level in the NFL and kind of changing my focus to just football.
And then you spoke about your body and healing up. Can you feel the difference in not playing two sports at the same time?
Oh, yeah. I felt it off the rip. I'm in the training room more asleep. And it's made my body feel really good.
Where have you seen yourself grow as a receiver now that you're full-time?
Yeah. First and foremost, I probably see myself being more of a vocal leader within the wide receiver room, kind of helping out the youngins and whatnot. As far as my own game, everything's slowing down for me. I'm able to play faster, understand defenses faster, and that's been a big change for me.
That's a big room. How do you approach leadership?
Yeah, just being vocal, with the guys, and also making myself available anytime and as much as I can for the young guys that have questions, whether it be on the field issues, off the field issues, any questions they have about the playbook, coverages they see, whatever it is, making myself more available for them and, you know, be in that leadership role.
You mentioned it being a tough decision leaving lacrosse. How weird has this spring felt in that regard?
Yeah.
Not being over there with those guys.
Yeah, it's super weird. I mean, I'm watching the away games from my couch, which kind of sucks. And it hurts a little bit not being out there with your brothers, but I'm sitting there cheering them on and doing all I can do, you know, to kind of support those guys and still be, you know, a part of that lacrosse brotherhood.
You know he misses it, man, because he was actually a contributor. Wasn't like he was just a bench guy. He was a contributor, a major contributor.
I mean, yeah, he sees where the bigger reward comes from, you know, and he won a championship with lacrosse, so he's like, you know,
he's done that.
Football can take me a little further, and that's cool. You know, I think he's a great leader. He just don't have the receiver one talent, but he's 100% a guy you need out there. He's gonna make plays. He's gonna come up big when you call on him, and a great compliment to a Miles Graham.
Now, when you say specify, because are you saying he doesn't have the
he's not a
talent of a first round pick?
Smith.
Right.
He's not Jeremiah Smith. So, you know, he that's just not enough ability to get us where we want to go, but that's not diminishing him. It's just we need to surround him with a star, you know what I mean? And I think it's not going to affect whether he gets to the league or not. It's more so you need that other attention, that gravity puller. You know, I don't think him at his best pulls enough to just be, you know, effective in the offense.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think he has produced, like, coming up through the ranks of the walk-ons and, man, killing the defense. That was a really good defense under Al Golden in practices. Getting to that big game on the road against Louisville, scoring a touchdown. Like, he has, every time he's gotten the opportunity, he's produced. He produced last year, 640 yards receiving. And he probably improves upon that this year because that's what he's done every year. But like you said, the gravitational pull at that position, does he have that? That's a fair question. Young Elijah Burris, who was buzzing last spring, and Mike Denbrock was like, he makes plays, but I just need to get him to learn the playbook. I think he's done a better job learning the playbook. This is what Elijah Burris had to say about this spring. Check it out, Lev.
I learned a lot for sure. Just having a lot of struggles, just learning the offense and the adjustment, playing against a lot of good DBs. I learned I dropped a lot of balls too during the season and practice and stuff. So just being able to just now lock in my playbook, go in a jug machine, learn how to win on releases and stuff like that, just sharpen my game.
And then you've been with Coach Brown for a year now. What have you just kind of learned from him?
I learned what he's looking for to be able to get on the field, feed and just know what you're doing, and knowing the whole play, knowing everybody's job. So being able to just do a good job with my playbook and just really lock in on the details that he looks for.
What do you see as your role right now?
My role, I'm just to the field right now. I want to be able to just show my teammates I could be a good blocker, I can make big plays. I definitely see myself as someone that has a lot of speed, so being able to just stretch the field and stuff like that.
How do you stand out in a room that's so big? What do you do to kind of stay high of everybody?
Yeah, I try to just make plays in practice. Every time the ball comes to me, I want to make plays. I want to be able to block. I want to do the little things that not everybody wants to do. Just having great details and everything I do, just having good feet, having good routes, being able to win versus man and zone, and just catching the ball.
That was quite honest.
He's an NFL son, man. His dad probably, that's the benefit. I feel like they just, even if they don't, I don't know, but I would assume his dad just giving him game. He going through the stages. It's just unfortunate that we just don't have that connection yet with the receiver room where, that stuff makes sense. It's one thing to know all your stuff and then you're not getting no reps. You're not, the ball ain't coming your way. It just, you get overly detailed in the stuff when sometimes it's just, we got to activate that pass game. If we activate the pass game, all this stuff makes more sense. The stuff starts clicking more, opportunities arise, but, there's no true direction in the receiver room where, that's what I'm saying. You all these guys looking at Jordan Faison like, I can compete with that. Not that he's not a leader and they probably go to him for help, but you need that big dog in the room. It's just not a big dog. They asking him about the role. He should be talking about the role that the coaches told him that's his role. He coming up with a role on his own. That means he ain't got nobody's telling him like, this is what I need you to do to win. They just say you need to know the plays. So that just goes back to the overall frustration. It's like you get all this talent in there, and then what? All this talent, how's it gonna help CJ? You see the difference with Miles. Miles Graham said, I'm with CJ and the coaches. Burris is with Coach Brown and himself. That's what I got from them two interviews. One is got an idea in mind of what they trying to do and how they trying to put this together. And then you got the Cam Williams and the Burrises. It's like, I'm just trying to find my role. And that's crazy, That's crazy.
I think what I took from it left is he was very honest right at the beginning of that clip, right? About, because you see kids that can sit there and make excuses as to why they didn't get the opportunity. Or
He's an NFL son.
He's like, man, I was man. I didn't know the playbook. My feet were bad. I was dropping passes in practice. Like, yo, he's like, look, I know why I didn't.
He knows. You see, the difference was you got a guy like Avery Davis. Avery Davis said, I had to go to YouTube. I didn't have Avery Davis Sr. in the NFL. So Avery Davis couldn't tell us feet, man versus zone, all of this, know the plays. He didn't have that direction. He said, he told us, I went to YouTube, SD.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, Bird's going to be fine. We just got to define a role for him because he got the right stuff to find out how to get better.
Man, I'm sitting here watching JCB, McDonald's All-American, coming to Notre Dame.
That's right.
She has 9 points in the McDonald's All-American game.
That's right.
They got 2 players in the game. That right there is a reason to feel good. It's a reason to feel good for Coach Ivey right now, who, by the way, like you said, is going to be the coach, the court coach for women's basketball team USA.
That's right.
Shout out to her. That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Micah Gilbert. He had 100 reps, 100 plays last year, despite the injuries. How did that help you improve, Micah? This is what he had to say.
Just, confidence going out into the field, playing with the team, just getting snaps on the field. You get more confidence in your ability to play at the level.
And then what did you kind of learn from MALIK last year that really helped you?
Watching MALIK, he attacked the ball really well. He was a really good deep threat. So just seeing the way he attacked the ball, how he can go up and get the ball translated well, I'm able to take notes from that.
Where do you think you've grown the most on and off the field?
On and off the field, just, being around the guys, everybody's a good guy here. So it promotes you every day to just be a better man. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at all the guys around here, how they work, how they approach every day intentionally. So it just helps you come in every day with the right mindset.
Everybody work hard. But that's the thing. It's like you got a bunch of hardworking dudes with no direction. What's the goal? The only person that talked about the goal was Miles.
I don't think I would push back a little bit. I don't think everybody works hard. I'm not gonna make that assumption that everybody works hard. Because hard is different for everybody. People work hard and they think they're working hard, and then you put them next to somebody that's really working hard, and you're like, oh.
That's fair. I'm just saying if we're just putting it all even, I would assume that the top 6, 7 receivers are all striving to play this season. And Micah's one of them. I just think when you got the top 7 hungry, most of them informed of what they need to do or how they can get better, I just think it would be a lot better to hear them to say, okay, we're trying to work to this goal. We all working with CJ in this way, or I'm trying to find CJ's favorite whatever. It's just a relationship thing. And it's, because it's one thing that all of it is chemistry. If CJ ain't comfortable with you, being open is only so much that you can be open and not get the ball.
Well, we know he's comfortable with Jordan Faison. That is one person we know without a shadow of doubt he's comfortable with.
And I know he's going to get the ball a lot. But
Micah Gilbert caught one of his first touchdowns against Miami, game 1. I think he's comfortable with Micah Gilbert. I just think Micah Gilbert.
You got it's just so many options.
Yeah.
I'm sure CJ got a good relationship with all these guys, but from football, it's just Faison. So he got to fill that with potential transfers and guys that have been on the roster that are hungry, his roommates, his friends that he's been growing through with, and he got to manage that relationship-wise. Because at the end of the day, when that ball starts flying in the air and it goes a few directions, those receivers going to feel away.
Yeah.
Manage that. You got to work on that chemistry with guys so they know. They only feel away when you're not telling them what's going on,
Man, I am aging myself. I'm watching the McDonald's All-American game, and Matt Harpring's daughter is in the game. I watched Matt Harpring in college, bro.
My goodness.
I watched him at Georgia Tech, and I'm watching his daughter in the McDonald's All-American game. Do you remember Dave Ragone, the quarterback?
Yep.
His daughter's in the game, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, all the NFL sons is on Notre Dame. That's crazy.
Yeah. Love the Irish. Love the Irish. But the question, how often do we think we see QB2 with the understanding we will be up big in most games and must protect Carr equally? I don't think it'd be Marcus Freeman does not believe in putting his backup quarterback in.
No.
He just does not.
No.
He does not. That cat CJ will be on the field maybe for like 1 or 2 series. I just don't see it. We thought the same thing last year as they were blowing teams out and CJ was still there was a need because CJ was in his first year. So maybe he needed the reps or they thought he needed the reps. And maybe that shifts because CJ will be in his second season and now the backup will need the reps. Maybe things shift because of those reasons. It's a good question. It's a good question. Things could be different. Micah Gilbert then talked about what his role will be this year. Check it out, Left.
Coming this year, I just want to help the team any way possible, to achieve our ultimate goal of a national championship. So any way I can contribute, I will.
How do you describe your playing style to someone who hasn't seen you play?
I honestly think I'm a very well-rounded receiver, a very explosive receiver that can change the game in multiple. So I would say I'm just explosive, really.
How's the chemistry in your unit right now?
At Notre Dame, the chemistry is always good. We hang around each other a lot. So in the room, we're all friends. We can all hang out outside. So it's still really well.
I think the opportunity for this young man is going to be absolutely amazing to be a breakout star. If you want to talk about, he's my breakout candidate for wide receiving this year. He's my breakout candidate. And I really think he's going to put up, I think Faison is probably going to get up to about 700 yards. I think Micah Gilbert, his health, once again, his ability to be on the field is going to put him in position. And I think, like I said, he's another guy that CJ is comfortable with. You go back and look at the fact that he looked for him multiple times in his first game against Miami. I think it's going to be the same way. And if he stays on the field, he's going to get targets. He's going to make plays. And I think he's going to have a breakout season for the Fighting Irish. in that wide receiver room. Let's hear from Notre Dame Legacy on the way out. Great show, great questions. Thank you for everybody that tapped in today. Put it in the chat. Who are your breakout wide receiver candidates for the Fighting Irish? Who are your breakout wide receiver candidates for the Fighting Irish? Put it in the chat and let us know. Jerome Bettis Jr., who has impacted you the most during your time here? Check it out. Another kid that looks like he's been in the weight room. Check it out.
Good question. Honestly, I'll probably say my teammate EB. Yeah, we came in together, obviously learning a lot from him, how he acts, how he responds to things, how he's coached, and then obviously Coach Brown. So the two of them, I say, probably I've learned the most, watching film with them all the time, whether it's just me and EB, me, Coach Brown, and EB, just learn as much as I can.
And then where has your game kind of improved since you got here?
I feel like it's improved a lot. Obviously, I feel like I've been working, trying to improve physically, and then that's allowed me to become more explosive on the field. So I feel like that's one of the biggest changes in my game, but also learning the playbook, just spending more time with it allows me to play faster and think less.
Love hearing that about EB and Jerome Bettis Jr. Just the steps that they've taken, and you see the manifestation of the steps that they've taken in spring practice because they put in the work. And kids like that are gym rats, that are in the film room, in the coach's office all the time, trying to get better, understanding what they need to do to get on the field and not pouting about not getting the opportunity to be on the field, just putting their head down and putting in the work to become the best players they could be. Love what I heard from Elijah Burris and Jerome Bettis Jr. in their presser. GTB question on the way out. Sean Stewart, what's your take on what McElroy said about Notre Dame a couple of days ago? You know how you can put something in a different package on a national network and it comes across like it's intel? Greg McElroy didn't say anything that has not been shared. He didn't say anything. He talked about the running back room. He talked about Anias Williams, his injury, his opportunities. I mean, if you honestly want my opinion, he talked about the buzz around Nolan James Jr. He talked about the O-line shuffle that pretty much has been talked about on a lot of podcasts that cover Notre Dame for months. So it wasn't like he shared new intel and new nuggets. He basically talked to some people, probably from different networks and websites, and pieced the show together. And because it's on a national show and a big brand connected to a big time network, it was the same information in a different package. I mean, he gave the same takes that we've given on this show, that's been given on Irish Breakdown, or that's been given on Irish Illustrated or other shows. So that was my take on it when I watched it. Like, okay, this is stuff we knew. D-Mon, Mr. Fulop said we need not the DeBarge gang, bro. You gonna call the running backs to DeBarge gang? That's wild. That's why Left was in rare form tonight. He was absolutely in rare form. We thank you for tapping in tonight. We thank you for your support once again. Go over to Bleav Network, tap into the audio side, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We are presented by FanDuel. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Definitely helps with the views. Share and let everybody know. Lucky Lefty Podcast, home of the misguided passion. Forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. From my boy, MALIK ZAIRE, the original Lucky Lefty, I'm Sean Davis. As always, continue to love each other. And we'll see you tomorrow night for another edition. We'll hear from head coach Marcus Freeman tomorrow. Head coach Marcus Freeman will have his mid-spring presser. Tomorrow, we'll hear what he has to say about how things are going. And then we'll talk about who's going to break out on the defensive line. Who's going to break out on the defensive line. And we'll go over some defensive line recruiting. Oh, I did promise you guys something. Big visit tomorrow. Big visit. He'll be the only. No, I think one other person will be joining him on campus, but a major visit for 2027 four-star wide receiver, top 50 in the nation, Quentin Burrell out of Chicago, Mount Carmel. Absolutely big, huge. Muskets, him and Julius Jones Jr. and Cade Cooper. Those are the three receivers that are really being targeted by the Fighting Irish for the 27 class. I put up a story over at Irish Breakdown to preview his visit. Man, the 6'3", 195-pound pass catcher, he has a great understanding of what he wants to see. He clearly said, I want the opportunity to compete and play early. I prefer not to be double covered. I want to be moved around to find the best matchup and to be developed at all three positions. Move me around and develop me for the next level. So he knows what he wants. He's not afraid of competition. The reason he's not afraid of competition because this process reminds him of when he was coming. He lives in Evanston. If you're in Chicago, if you know the south side of Chicago, where Mount Carmel is, to Evanston, that's a trek. The traffic you have to fight through early in the morning, that is what he committed to want to come and compete at the elite program. The elite program. They actually play East St. Louis this year. That's going to be a dope game. I'm definitely going to that game. That's the battle for supremacy in the state of Illinois and bragging rights. But he made the choice coming out of grade school to go make that trek each and every day for 4 years because he saw the opportunity not only to become the best player he can be, but also the opportunity to win state championships. And all of that has happened because you're talking about a kid that through 3 years, he holds all of the all-time records. That's a prestigious program at Mount Carmel. He is the all-time record holder in receptions, yards, receiving yards, and touchdowns just after 3 seasons. So that shows you the confidence he has. He said, I just put my head down and worked. He got on the field as a true freshman and has continued to grow and has blossomed into a top 50 player. He'll be on campus tomorrow for what is an enormous visit for the Fighting Irish. For this young man, he's looking forward to seeing how the wide receivers are used in practice. You're talking about teams like Miami. You talk about teams like Miami, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, Vanderbilt, and Arizona State, Oklahoma, LSU, Indiana. Those are the type of teams that make up his top 10. So big time visit from Quentin Burrell tomorrow. And I have more about the visit and how things went probably on Thursday's show. All right. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Love each other, but most of all, make sure you continue to spin it different. We'll see you tomorrow night.